Hey Diddle Diddle mainly is about finding and overcoming one's own insecurities. The story is played out through Maxwell Sweetwater, who I play, as he faces his past and past people who have pushed him up on a pedestal and he hasn't become what he's supposed to become by their standards. And he's actually going back to face them, all the while battling social anxiety disorder. So we see him struggle with that. All the other characters in the piece also struggle with some sort of type of insecurity that they're battling also, whether it be Alex and Solange, whether it be Julian, whether it be Janet. They're all fighting against something, but the main thrust is through Maxwell.
The fact that the story focuses on a man who's suffering from social anxiety disorder was very attractive to me. I love stories that are a little complex, that deal with mental health, that deal with issues that aren't really talked about. And that was part of what made me like it so much.
I jumped at the opportunity to do this because the story was so strong. The things that I've done prior to they pale in comparison.
I really love this project. It goes a lot deeper. It's not a surface film. It goes deep into the psychosis of everyday problems.
The story is very true to life. I know that I have very high expectations for myself, and if I don't get them, I usually put myself down. The story is all about that, and it's very telling about how a man or a woman goes through and deals with that.
This guy, he's dealing with social anxiety disorder. He goes through a time period in his life, 10 years post high school, where it's time for him to go to his high school reunion, and all of his friends are pushing him to go, and he is just not feeling that he's lived up to who he was in school and who he was expected to become. And a lot of people have gone through that.
It's a story where I feel like a lot of different people can relate. Everyone has that going back to your 10-year reunion, and just the anxiety if you were popular in school, if you still are the same, people wanting to see have you changed. And then you have that person that was no one, and now they want to go back and be flashy and show what they've done. So I feel like it is something that represents a lot of different people in a lot of different walks of their life, and that's just one aspect of it. You also have a love story that's in it. Just overall, I think the film, it has a couple of different elements that I believe people can relate to.
I believe that the story definitely, it says in the script that the past is the past. It doesn't matter anymore. What really matters is how you treat the future and how you go on.
I think it's a real universal story. I think everybody can has some type of experience with dealing with some type of shortcoming they think they might have, and the real challenge is to try to face it and overcome it.
This story had so much depth. The characters were so rich. I could identify with a lot of the characters, and I felt like this was a story that a lot of people could identify with, and I felt like it was a story that is untold and that people should actually see and hear and own it one day on DVD.